The Tampa Bay High School Sports Report is presented by the Greater Tampa Bay Area Buick and GMC dealers. Visit a Tampa Bay dealer today.
Hey, what's up? I'm Dave Reynolds, and we have a unique show this week. A good portion of it deals with the latest inductions into the Florida Sports Hall of Fame. Alexis Willie spotlights 3 of them to get their thoughts on their high school experiences. 1993 Heisman Trophy winner Charlie Ward, former Miami Dolphins safety Dick Anderson, and former Bucs linebacker Ryan Neese, who received a special award. I'll also go one-on-one with Brandon head wrestling coach Russ Cozart, former Major League Baseball star Fred McGriff, and NBC sports golf analyst Gary Koch. Plus, highlights from the USF Steinbrenner Invitational, softball, baseball, and a surprise exit from Tampa Catholic by 2-time state basketball winning coach Nancy Kroll. But first things first, big crowd on hand in Brandon for the Saladino Championship game between Jefferson and Bloomingdale. Started off in the 4th inning. It's a 1-all. Then Garrett Lorenzo, the single off Corbin Olmstead to right field, brings home Austin Wilson. The Bulls taking a 2-1 lead. 5th inning, Jefferson fighting back. Randall Rosquette, base knocked to left off Cody Kraus, brings home Trey Robinson to tie this one at 2. Later on, Jimmy Herget, the tournament MVP, with a shot down the left field line. That double brings home Nelson Maldonado. Then the Bloomingdale left fielder has all kinds of problems, makes an error out there. Rosquette scores all the way from first base to make it 4-2 Dragons. Now, in the 7th, it's 5-3. Olmstead getting Bryson Gladbach for the final out as the Dragons win the Saladino 5-3. Early in the tournament, Pop Cuesta picked up his 600th career victory, capping off one of the best weeks of his career.
No, I haven't. Getting to the Final Four one year was good. We came back from 5 down in the bottom of the 7th when I had Tino to beat Sarasota Riverview. That was great. That was a great week for us. 2 comeback wins, but this is sweet. Nice week for these guys.
In my gut, I felt like this was the inning. If we didn't get a solid hit now, that it might have been over. And I just sat there, sat back as long as I could, and just tried to drive through the ball. And luckily, it went right over the bag.
They told us coming in this game we were the underdog, and we just all wanted to prove them wrong. And our fans gave us more than the support we needed. Like I said, I thank God for our fans, our support, everything, because without them, this all wouldn't be possible at all.
Next up, beautiful Higher Family Park at Jesuit, where the nationally ranked Tigers hosted fellow state power Gulliver Prep. First inning, Raiders pitcher Yvonne Pelez, who's going to Miami. Lance McCullers going to Florida. Grab some bench there, Lance. Gulliver Prep picked up 3 runs in the 3rd inning to go on top 3-0. Then in the 4th, McCullers coming back a little bit. Going the other way, the double to the gap in left center. The first hit from Jesuit. They only had 2 on the game, but Mom Stacy and his girlfriend liked Lance's effort right there. Moving now to the 7th inning, it's still 3-0. The final out, Adrian Chacon, the ground out to Joe Denon, who's Alex Rodriguez's cousin. And that one pretty much does it, as the Tigers suffered their first loss of the season, 3-0. Afterwards, head coach Richie Warren wasn't sweating too much about it.
The end goal is not to go undefeated, to be nice, but obviously, we have bigger goals in mind, and this is just a little hiccup, but we played well. We ran into a good arm. We just didn't have competitive results with our at-bats. Thought we had good at-bats, but just not competitive results. Fly out 9 times and struck out 6. You're talking about 15 outs in a 21-out game where we didn't make them work.
Well, softball for you, 7A District 10 style. Showdown at Countryside where the Cougars hosted Seminole. The Warhawks gave Seaside its only district loss earlier in the season. First inning, this one, a romp was starting early. Haley Kiesling with a 3-run double off Jenny Sitlow, the #1 pitcher in Pinellas County. The Cougars pounded out 13 hits. They scored 8 runs in the first inning, tacked on 4 more in the second. Sumner Pollard with a 2-run shot to make it 11-0 as the Cougars romp 14-2. The 7th time this season they've scored at least 10 runs.
Obviously, we did a great job just putting the ball in play, hitting the ball hard. Defense didn't make too many errors, and that's basically the name of the game, trying to make them make mistakes, and like I said, just keeping the ball in play.
Sometimes winning isn't enough. Tampa Catholic girls basketball coach Nancy Kroll, who led the Crusaders to back-to-back state titles and 3 straight Final Fours, is out as head coach after 6 highly successful seasons. Kroll has been a guest on the Tampa Bay High School Sports Report in the past. After each of TC's state championships, she was let go by the school last Friday. She won 81% of her games in those 6 seasons. Now, before coming to Tampa Catholic, Kroll also coached at Academy of the Holy Names, Freedom, and Hillsborough Community College. I spoke with Kroll by phone earlier this week, and she told me, quote, "It's been an honor to coach kids at TC. It's a lot of fun. I will miss it. Now it's time to move on. It's been an awesome experience winning those 2 titles, a lifetime of memories and lessons. I learned a lot from the kids here, and I will continue to do so. I wish them the best of luck and hope there is equality for female student athletes at Tampa Catholic." All right, in just its 3rd year of existence, the USF Steinbrenner Invitational has become one of the top track and field meets of the regular season this year. Over 70 schools showed up, even though there were 2 other big meets in Jacksonville and Orlando. We're going to start it off with the girls' high jump, and this would be 5'2" Gianna Cuby from Osceola, clearing 5 feet 4. She's got ups, I'd say. Also going over 5'4", Hannah Welsh from Dunedin, and Welsh wins because she had fewer misses. Now moving to the boys' pole vault. Chunyun Bittner from Charlotte going against Cayman Ellis from St. Petersburg. Ellis shown right here clearing 13 feet. Ended up winning the meet at 13 feet 6 inches. Now, the boys' shot put, it was a football player extravaganza. Armwood's Cody Waldrop going to South Carolina, throwing at 48 feet 2 inches. Then teammate Sheldon Lewinson, who's going to Wake Forest, beat him by just a little bit. How about a half inch? 48 feet 2.5 inches. And also Michael Dvornik from Plant throwing at 46.5 feet. Naples' Zach Diasinski won at 49 feet 11.75 inches. Now the boys' team results look a little something like this. Fort Myers is your champion with 60 points. Lakewood 8 back, and then Charlotte finished in 3rd. The girls' team results: Lakewood Ranch finishing on top of Steinbrenner by 5 points, and West Orange from Winter Garden in your top 3. All right, for a coach or athlete or broadcaster, there's no bigger individual professional honor than being elected to a Hall of Fame. It's a culmination of your life's work, the endless hours of sweat and sacrifice that led to greatness. Well, earlier this week, 12 of the best in their respective sports were inducted into the Florida Sports Hall of Fame. Alexis Woolley got a chance to talk to some of the Hall of Famers about their high school playing and coaching days at the game between the Tampa Bay Lightning and Buffalo Sabres, and joins us with more on 3 of them: Charlie Ward, Dick Anderson, and Ryan Neese. Really cool night, wasn't it?
It was great. Throughout our show, you've seen us cover today's All-Stars, the players who lead their high school teams to state titles and keep us waiting in anticipation to announce which college they'll play at. But all too often, we forget about the ones who've paved the way for these athletes. It was truly an honor for me to meet these men who've shown not only what it takes to be a Hall of Famer on the field, but off it as well. The first order of business for the class of 2012 took place at the Tampa Bay Times Forum. It was a time to reminisce, a time to catch up with old friends and meet new ones. It's not just their skill or their sports IQ that's gotten these players inducted in the Hall of Fame. It's what they believe in and what they've done off the field that's truly marked them as some of the greatest players in the state of Florida. That includes former Heisman Trophy winner Charlie Ward, who led Florida State to its first national title in 1993 before moving on to the NBA, where he played for 11 years. Ward was even selected in the Major League Baseball draft despite the fact that he never played at FSU. Growing up, Ward was like any other high school athlete, dreaming of playing in the pros.
It was all a dream, just like all other kids, going out in the backyard and, counting down and who's ever on television that day, whether it was football or basketball, reliving that moment of hitting the winning shot or throwing the touchdown pass as the time run out, and then get an opportunity to go through that experience. It's a little bit different.
Former Miami Dolphins star Dick Anderson, who was a part of the legendary undefeated team in 1972, had a good high school experience of his own. Anderson, who made a smooth transition to life after football in politics and business, credits his sports background that allowed him to succeed.
When I was in high school over 50 years ago, we actually won the state championship. I grew up in Colorado and went to the University of Colorado and came to Miami as a draft choice in 1968. Stayed in Florida because I love it here. I think what's changed today is if a young person is a very successful man or woman, they concentrate and they go away and they just concentrate on that one sport, and I think it limits their development. And so I think that the biggest difference between when I grew up and today is the intense training that they have at many levels when these kids are young.
Former Bucks linebacker Ryan Neese was honored with a special award recognizing his fight to end childhood obesity and diabetes.
Neese, who is very active in the Tampa community, offered these words of wisdom to teenagers.
There's a lot of great athletes. We were blessed here in Tampa just because of all the great high schools, football players, basketball players, volleyball players. All of these athletes are going to be able to go on and above and beyond after high school. But, there's some athletes that may not be able to have that transition. But it's so important to be able to maintain a healthy lifestyle, whether you're playing sports or not. All of us got to be able to stay healthy. We all should exercise. We should all eat right because we all want to live for a long time. We live in the greatest country in the world, in America. You might as well live as long as you can and enjoy it. Enjoy your family and loved ones.
Alexis, it really was a special couple of days for all the Hall of Famers who truly enjoyed themselves. There's a golf outing there as well. These guys have really made a name for themselves. We talk about their playing accomplishments all the time, but what happens after the whistle stops, after they take the uniform off, that really matters.
I know these men were just so inspiring to me. Interviewing them, talking with them, seeing them interact with each other. You can tell they have passion for the game that they play, but they also have passion for the people that the sports affect. Right. They have passion for their communities, and they just want to go out there and show that they're not only athletes, they can be advocates. And it was just really great to talk to these men.
I know you really got a kick out of talking to Anderson and Neese especially.
Oh, they're wonderful men. They had a great sense of humor, and Ryan is just very passionate about keeping obesity away and keeping children healthy.
Right.
And Dick Anderson, he was great talking about his Senate work, and you could just tell these men love life, and they have a passion for sports and a passion for helping others.
Yeah, pretty cool event too, wasn't it?
It was great. It was so much fun, the food especially.
Yeah, you can't turn down a good food story, can
Never.
we? All right, Alexis, thank you very much.
Thank you, Dave. And that's just part of the coverage we have for the Florida Sports Hall of Fame for the class of 2012. Coming up later in the show, we'll talk with another inductee, NBC Sports golf analyst Gary Koch.
All right, and next, two more men from the Bay Area who have made their mark and then some in the world of sports. Brendan Head wrestling coach Russ Cozart and Tampa's Fred McGriff, who some people feel, including yours truly, should be in the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame. That's next when the Tampa Bay High School Sports Report continues.